Modern life is not stealing your peace. The untrained mind is. You suffer when people misunderstand you, when the past will not leave you, and when the future refuses to obey your plans. But more than 2,000 years ago, the Buddha revealed 7 timeless lessons that can free the mind from attachment, anger, fear, and overthinking. Stay until the 7th lesson, because it may reveal the burden you have been carrying without knowing you were allowed to put it down. Subscribe to Timeless Mind Temple, like this video, and write in the comments, "I choose inner peace." Lesson 1. Your mind creates the world you experience. The Buddha's first and perhaps most powerful lesson is this: your greatest enemy is not the world, it is an untrained mind. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some bring wisdom, but many bring fear, anger, regret, and worry. If you believe every thought that appears, you will spend your life trapped in invisible suffering. Modern life tells us that peace will come when everything around us becomes perfect. We think we will finally be happy when people respect us, when our family understands us, when our finances improve, when our health returns, or when life becomes easier. But the Buddha taught a completely different truth. Peace does not begin when the world changes. It begins when the mind changes. Think about this for a moment. 2 people can experience the same disappointment. One becomes bitter for years, while the other learns from it and moves forward with peace. The event was the same, the difference was the mind. Imagine someone speaks harshly to you. Their words may last only a few seconds, but your mind keeps repeating them for days. You replay the conversation while eating, before sleeping, and even after waking up. The person who hurt you may have already forgotten the moment, but your own mind continues creating new suffering. The Buddha taught that the first pain comes from life, but the second pain comes from the mind refusing to let go. This is why awareness is so important. When an angry thought appears, simply notice it instead of immediately following it. When fear enters your mind, observe it without believing it. Thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. They appear, they change, and they disappear. But the sky never becomes the cloud. Your true nature is like that sky, calm, open, and untouched beneath every passing thought. Many people spend years believing every story their mind tells them. My life will never get better. Nobody truly cares about me. I am too old to change. I will never find peace. But these are not facts. They are thoughts. And thoughts are not always true. The Buddha encouraged us to question the stories inside our minds instead of becoming their prisoners. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me find peace, or is it increasing my suffering? That single question can change the direction of your entire day. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you water will grow. If you water anger, comparison, and resentment every day, they will become stronger. But if you water gratitude, compassion, patience, and mindfulness, those qualities will slowly transform your life. You cannot fill your mind with fear every morning and expect peace every evening. This is why protecting your mind is one of the greatest acts of wisdom. Spend a few quiet minutes each day away from noise. Sit with your breath. Watch your thoughts without judging them. Slowly, you will notice something remarkable. Your thoughts no longer control you as they once did. Life outside may remain uncertain. People may still disappoint you. Problems may still come and go, but your mind becomes steadier. You stop reacting to everything. You become slower to anger, quicker to forgive, and stronger than your circumstances. That is the Buddha's first lesson for modern life. When you train your mind, you stop allowing the world to decide whether you live in peace. Lesson 2. Attachment turns love into suffering. The Buddha taught that one of the deepest causes of suffering is attachment. Attachment begins when we tell ourselves, I cannot be peaceful unless this person stays, this situation remains the same, or life follows my expectations. But modern life is always changing. Children grow up and become busy with their own families. Friends become distant. Relationships change. Health becomes uncertain. Possessions become old. The attention we once received may slowly disappear. When we demand permanence from a changing world, suffering becomes unavoidable. Many people confuse attachment with love. but they are not the same. Love says, I care for you and wish you well. Attachment says, you must behave the way I expect or I cannot be happy. Love gives freedom. Attachment creates fear. Love appreciates someone's presence. Attachment is constantly afraid of losing it. This is why some relationships become painful. We may love our children, but then become wounded when they do not call as often as we expect. We may care for a friend, but become bitter when they give attention to someone else. We may remain connected to people who repeatedly disrespect us because we fear being alone. The suffering does not always come from loving too much. It comes from holding too tightly. The Buddha did not teach people to become cold or distant. He taught them to love with wisdom. You can care deeply without making another person responsible for your inner peace. You can support someone without controlling their choices. You can appreciate their presence without believing they belong to you. A bird may rest in your hand, but if you close your fingers too tightly, you hurt what you are trying to keep. Relationships are the same. The more desperately you try to control someone, the more fear, jealousy, and disappointment enter your heart. You begin counting how often they call, how quickly they reply, and whether they give you the same importance you give them. Slowly, love becomes a silent demand. But peaceful love does not keep a record of every disappointment. It understands that every person is walking through their own struggles. Sometimes people become distant because they are tired, confused, or burdened by problems they have not shared. Their silence does not always mean they no longer care, and sometimes people truly do stop valuing us. In that moment, Buddhist wisdom teaches us not to beg, chase, or lose our dignity. We can love someone and still create distance. We can forgive someone and still refuse to be mistreated. We can wish them peace without allowing them to disturb ours. Non-attachment means holding people gently. It means saying, I am grateful for your presence, but I will not lose myself trying to keep you. It means understanding that everything we love is temporary. This truth should not make us fearful. It should make us more present, patient, and grateful. Say the kind words now. Spend time with the people you love now. Appreciate them while they are near, but do not make them the only source of your happiness. When your peace depends completely on another person, you give them power over your entire inner world. The Buddha's second lesson is simple. Love deeply, but do not cling. Care sincerely, but do not control. When you loosen attachment, love becomes lighter, purer, and more peaceful. Lesson 3. Stop comparing your life to others. The Buddha taught that comparison is one of the quietest thieves of peace. In today's world, it has become easier than ever to compare ourselves with others. We compare our families, our health, our success, our appearance, our homes, and even our happiness. We look at someone else's life and wonder why ours feels less meaningful. But comparison is built on an illusion. You see someone's smile, but you do not see the tears they cried before that smile. You see their success, but not the failures they endured. You see the peaceful moments they choose to show the world, but not the silent battles they fight every day. The Buddha reminded us that every person walks a different path shaped by different causes and conditions. No two lives are meant to look the same. A lotus flower does not bloom because it competes with another lotus. It blooms because it follows its own nature. The sun does not rise earlier because another star shines brighter. Everything in nature grows in its own season. Your life is no different. Many people reach old age carrying unnecessary sadness because they spend decades measuring their journey against someone else's. One person says, my friend became wealthy while I struggled. Another says, their children visit them more often than mine. Someone else thinks, I should have achieved more by now. These thoughts do not improve life. They only make you blind to the blessings already in your hands. The Buddha never taught people to compete with one another. He taught them to compete only with the person they were yesterday. Ask yourself, am I becoming kinder? Am I becoming calmer? Am I reacting with more wisdom than I did a year ago? These are the questions that truly matter. Real success is not having more than other people. Real success is needing less to feel peaceful. A person may own a large house yet sleep with anxiety every night. Another may live simply yet rest with a peaceful heart. Who is truly richer? Modern society praises achievement, but Buddhism praises awareness. The happiest people are often not those who have the most. They are those who have learned to appreciate what they already have. Gratitude is the cure for comparison. Every morning, instead of asking, "Why don't I have what others have?" ask yourself, "What blessings have I forgotten to notice?" Perhaps you still have your health. Perhaps you still have food on your table. Perhaps you have learned wisdom through suffering. Perhaps you have survived difficulties that once seemed impossible. These are treasures that comparison makes us overlook. The moment you stop measuring your life against another person's journey, a great weight leaves your heart. You begin living your own life instead of chasing someone else's. Remember, the purpose of life is not to become better than others. The purpose of life is to become a wiser, kinder, and more peaceful version of yourself. That is the Buddha's third lesson for modern life, and it is a path that never leads to regret. Lesson 4. Learn to let go of what you cannot control. One of the greatest causes of suffering in modern life is trying to control things that were never ours to control. The Buddha taught that much of our pain does not come from life itself. It comes from resisting the way life truly is. Think about how much energy people waste every day. They try to control what others think about them. They try to control their children's decisions, their partner's behavior, their family's opinions, the future, and even the past. When life refuses to obey their expectations, frustration turns into anxiety, and anxiety slowly steals their peace. But the truth is simple. You cannot control whether someone respects you. You cannot control whether people understand your intentions. You cannot control whether someone stays in your life forever. You cannot control tomorrow. The only thing you can truly control is how you choose to respond. Imagine standing in the middle of a river and trying to stop the water with your hands. No matter how hard you struggle, the river keeps flowing. The more you fight it, the more exhausted you become. Life is that river. The wise person does not waste energy trying to stop the current. Instead, they learn how to move with it. This is not giving up. It is accepting reality with wisdom. Many people believe letting go means becoming weak, but the Buddha taught the opposite. It takes far more strength to release what you cannot control than to spend years fighting against it. How many sleepless nights have been caused by worrying about things that never happened? How many relationships have been damaged because someone tried to control another person's choices? How many years have been wasted replaying a past that can never be changed? The mind says, "If I worry enough, maybe everything will go my way." But worry has never changed yesterday, and it has never guaranteed tomorrow. It only steals the peace that belongs to today. The Buddha encouraged his followers to focus on right action instead of guaranteed results. Do your best. Speak honestly. Treat people with kindness. Protect your boundaries. Make wise decisions. Then let go of the outcome. A farmer can plant the seed, water the soil, and remove the weeds, but he cannot force the plant to grow overnight. Growth happens naturally when the conditions are right. Your life works the same way. Do what is within your control, then trust the process of life. Sometimes a closed door is protecting you from a path that would have brought greater suffering. Sometimes a delay is preparing you for better timing. Sometimes losing someone is making room for a deeper relationship with yourself. At first, these moments feel painful. But with time, many people look back and realize that what they once called a disaster became one of life's greatest blessings. Every evening, ask yourself one simple question. What am I carrying today that I was never meant to carry? Perhaps it is someone else's opinion. Perhaps it is an old mistake. Perhaps it is guilt that has already taught you its lesson. Perhaps it is fear about a future that has not yet arrived. Whatever it is, place it down. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that peace begins the moment we stop demanding that life obey our expectations. You cannot control every event that happens to you, but you can always choose the state of your own mind, and that choice is where true freedom begins. Lesson 5. Forgiveness frees the one who forgives. One of the hardest lessons the Buddha taught is also one of the most liberating. Holding on to anger hurts you far more than the person who hurt you. Many people carry pain for years because someone betrayed them, lied to them, disrespected them, or walked away without an apology. The event may have happened long ago, but the wound continues to live because the mind keeps reopening it. Every time you replay the memory, the pain feels new again. The Buddha compared anger to holding a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. Before it reaches them, it burns your own hand. That is exactly what resentment does. It steals your sleep. It steals your joy. It steals your peace. Meanwhile, the person who hurt you may have already moved on with their life. Many people believe forgiveness means saying what you did was acceptable, but the Buddha never taught that. Forgiveness does not mean approving bad behavior. It does not mean forgetting the lesson. It does not mean allowing someone to hurt you again. Forgiveness means refusing to let another person's actions continue controlling your heart. You can forgive someone and still keep your distance. You can release hatred while protecting your boundaries. You can wish someone wisdom without inviting them back into your life. That is not weakness. That is inner freedom. Think about how many families stop speaking because both sides are waiting for the other to apologize. Years pass. Birthdays are missed. Grandchildren grow up. Then one day someone dies, and the apology never comes. The Buddha reminds us that life is too short to carry unnecessary hatred. Sometimes the greatest prison is not the one built by others. It is the one we build inside our own hearts. This does not mean every relationship should be repaired. Some people repeatedly bring pain, dishonesty, and disrespect into your life. Wisdom does not ask you to remain where your peace is constantly destroyed. Sometimes forgiveness means letting go and walking away. It means saying, I release my anger, but I also choose a different path. When someone insults you, ask yourself, do I want to carry these words for the next 10 years, or do I want to be free? When someone disappoints you, ask, is holding on to this pain helping me? Or is it quietly destroying my peace? Most of the time you already know the answer. The Buddha taught that hatred never ends through hatred. Only compassion, understanding, and wisdom have the power to end the cycle. Compassion does not always mean feeling sorry for someone. Sometimes it means recognizing that people who constantly hurt others are often trapped by their own anger, fear, greed, or ignorance. They spread suffering because suffering already lives inside them. Understanding this does not excuse their actions. It simply prevents their darkness from becoming yours. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you break a chain that could have followed you for the rest of your life. You stop carrying yesterday into today. You stop allowing someone else's mistakes to steal another peaceful morning. And slowly your heart becomes lighter. The Buddha's fifth lesson is this: do not carry anger longer than the person who caused it. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because your peace is too precious to lose. Lesson 6. Live in the present. The only place where peace exists. One of the greatest reasons people suffer in modern life is that their body lives in the present, but their mind lives somewhere else. The Buddha taught that the present moment is the only place where peace can ever be found, yet most people spend very little time there. Instead, they carry the past wherever they go. They replay old conversations. They remember people who betrayed them. They regret decisions they made years ago. They wonder what life would have been like if they had chosen a different path. And when they are not trapped in the past, they are worrying about the future. What if I become sick? What if my children stop caring about me? What if I lose everything? What if tomorrow brings another problem? Without realizing it, they miss the only moment they truly have, the one they are living right now. The Buddha often reminded his followers that the past cannot be changed and the future has not yet arrived. The only place where wisdom can be practiced, kindness can be offered, and peace can be experienced is this present moment. Think about how much of your life has been spent worrying about things that never happened. Many of the fears that kept you awake at night disappeared on their own. Many of the problems you imagined never became reality, yet your mind suffered as if they had already happened. That is the danger of living in the future. The mind creates pain before life does. The same is true of the past. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Every painful memory is another stone. Every regret is another stone. Every grudge is another stone. Every I should have is another stone. After many years, the backpack becomes so heavy that even the smallest challenge feels impossible. But the Buddha asks a simple question: Why are you still carrying what life has already finished? The past is a teacher, not a prison. Its purpose is to give you wisdom, not endless suffering. If you keep reopening old wounds, they never have the chance to heal. There comes a moment when you must stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That single question transforms pain into wisdom. Modern life constantly steals our attention. The moment we wake up, we reach for our phones. News fills our minds with fear. Social media fills our minds with comparison. Arguments fill our minds with anger. Advertisements convince us that we are never enough. From morning until night, our attention is pulled in every direction. Then we wonder why our hearts feel restless. The Buddha understood that a distracted mind can never become a peaceful mind. This is why mindfulness is one of the greatest practices in Buddhism. Mindfulness simply means giving your full attention to the moment you are living. When you drink tea, just drink tea. When you eat, simply eat. When someone speaks to you, truly listen instead of preparing your next response. When you walk, notice each step. When you breathe, actually feel your breath. These simple moments may seem ordinary, but they are where peace quietly begins. Many people spend their entire lives chasing a future where they believe happiness is waiting. I'll be peaceful when I retire. I'll be happy when I earn more money. I'll enjoy life after my problems disappear. But life keeps moving. The future becomes the present, and then another future appears. Happiness remains forever postponed. The Buddha warned against this endless chase. He taught that peace is not a destination waiting somewhere ahead. It is a way of living right now. Even during difficult times, you can still notice the warmth of the morning sun. You can still hear birds singing. You can still appreciate a kind smile. You can still take one slow, grateful breath. These small moments are not insignificant. They are life itself. One day, many people look back and realize they were so busy worrying about tomorrow that they forgot to live today. Do not make that mistake. Every sunrise you witness is a gift that many people never receive. Every conversation with someone you love may be one you will never have again. Every peaceful evening is precious because nothing in this world lasts forever. The Buddha taught that impermanence should not make us fearful. It should make us fully present. When you understand that everything changes, you stop taking ordinary moments for granted. You become more patient with your family. You become more grateful for your health. You become kinder with your words. You stop delaying forgiveness. You stop waiting for the perfect time to appreciate the people around you, because you understand that today may be the only day you truly have. So each morning, before the noise of the world enters your mind, pause for a few moments. Take a slow breath. Notice the air entering your lungs. Feel your feet touching the ground. Listen to the silence before the world begins demanding your attention. Remind yourself, the past is gone. The future has not arrived. This moment is enough. If you can practice this every day, your life will slowly begin to change. Problems may still come. People may still disappoint you. The world will continue moving quickly. But your heart will remain steady because it is no longer living in yesterday or tomorrow. It is finally living where peace has always been waiting. The Buddha's sixth lesson is this: stop searching for peace in the past or the future. The present moment is the only home your mind will ever truly have. Lesson 7. Discover that everything is impermanent, and that is your greatest freedom. The Buddha's final lesson for modern life is perhaps the deepest of them all. Everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. At first, this truth may sound frightening. We naturally want the people we love to stay, our health to remain strong, our happy moments to last, and our lives to unfold exactly as we imagine. We spend years trying to hold on to things that are constantly changing. But the Buddha taught that our greatest suffering begins the moment we expect permanent happiness from an impermanent world. Look around you. The seasons change. The weather changes. Your body changes. Your thoughts change. Your friendships change. Your family changes. Even the person you were 10 years ago no longer exists. Change is not a mistake. Change is the nature of life itself. The problem is not that life changes. The problem is that we keep asking life to stay the same. Many people spend decades wishing they could return to the past. They miss their youth. They miss the people who have passed away. They miss the days when their children were young. They miss opportunities that are gone forever. Without realizing it, They stop living the life that is still in front of them. The Buddha reminds us that nothing beautiful can be held forever. A flower blooms, then it fades. A sunrise appears, then it disappears into the evening. A child grows into an adult. Parents grow old. Every beginning carries the seed of an ending. This is not something to fear. It is something to understand, because when you truly accept impermanence, something extraordinary happens. You stop taking people for granted. You stop postponing kindness. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to express love. You become more grateful for ordinary days because you know they will not last forever. Imagine if someone told you that today would be the last day you could speak with someone you love. Would you waste that conversation arguing over small things? Would you spend it complaining? Or would you simply be grateful that they are still there? The Buddha wanted us to live every day with that awareness, not with fear, but with appreciation. Impermanence is not only the reason we lose beautiful things, it is also the reason painful things cannot last forever. Think about the hardest moment of your life. Perhaps you believed the pain would never end. Perhaps you thought you would never smile again. Yet here you are. You survived. The storm passed. Your life continued. The same truth that takes away joy also takes away sorrow. This is why the Buddha encouraged people not to become attached to either happiness or suffering. Both are temporary visitors. When happiness comes, enjoy it with gratitude. When sadness comes, meet it with patience. Neither one will stay forever. Modern life convinces us that we must constantly chase more money, more success, more approval, more attention, more possessions. Yet no matter how much we collect, none of it can escape impermanence. The newest phone becomes old. The expensive car loses its shine. The beautiful house eventually needs repairs. Even fame disappears. If your identity depends on things that constantly change, your peace will constantly change with them. That is why the Buddha encouraged people to build their lives on wisdom rather than possessions. Wisdom cannot be stolen. Compassion does not grow old. A peaceful heart does not lose its value. Kindness becomes more beautiful with time. These are treasures that no passing year can take away. There is another beautiful truth hidden inside impermanence. Every morning is a new beginning. No matter how many mistakes you made yesterday, today is different. No matter how many times you failed, today offers another opportunity. No matter how heavy your past has been, you do not have to carry it forever. The person you were yesterday does not have to be the person you become tomorrow. This is why the Buddha never wanted people to define themselves by their past. He wanted them to awaken in the present. Perhaps you have spent years living with anger. You can begin again today. Perhaps you have spent years chasing people who never valued you. You can begin again today. Perhaps you have spent years worrying about things beyond your control. You can begin again today. The present moment is always offering you another chance. That is the gift of impermanence. Even your habits can change. Even your fears can change. Even your heart can change. Many people say, "This is just the way I am." The Buddha would gently ask, "Who told you that you cannot grow?" Every tree begins as a small seed. Every peaceful mind begins with one wise decision. Every meaningful life begins with one mindful step. Transformation is possible because nothing remains fixed forever. As you grow older, this lesson becomes even more valuable. You begin to realize that life is not measured by how many years you live. It is measured by how deeply you live each day. One person may live 90 years while remaining trapped in anger and regret. Another may live a shorter life filled with gratitude, compassion, and wisdom. Which life is truly complete? The Buddha's answer is clear. A peaceful heart is worth more than a long life filled with endless craving. So do not fear change. Welcome it as your teacher. When life asks you to let go, trust that something inside you is also being invited to grow. When one door closes, do not spend your life staring at it. Turn around. Life has already opened another path. One day your possessions will remain behind. Your titles will disappear. Your achievements will be remembered by only a few. Even your appearance will become a memory. but the kindness you shared, the compassion you offered, the peace you cultivated, the wisdom you lived. These are the things that leave a lasting mark on the world. In the end, people will not remember how much you owned. They will remember how you made them feel. They will remember your calm presence. They will remember your gentle words. They will remember that you brought peace instead of conflict. That is a life lived according to the Buddha's wisdom. So as you leave this lesson, ask yourself one final question. If everything in my life is temporary, what is truly worth holding on to? The answer is not wealth. It is not status. It is not the opinions of other people. It is wisdom. It is compassion. It is mindfulness. It is a peaceful heart. These are the treasures that grow richer with every passing year. The Buddha's seventh and final lesson is this: everything in this world will eventually change, but a mind trained in wisdom will remain peaceful through every season of life. When you accept impermanence instead of resisting it, you stop fearing change and finally begin living with complete freedom. The Buddha never promised a life without pain. He promised that freedom from suffering is possible for the person who learns to understand the mind. Today you have discovered 7 timeless lessons that have guided millions of people for more than 2,000 years. These are not ideas to admire for a moment and then forget. They are practices to live every single day. When your mind begins to overthink, remember the first lesson. When attachment steals your peace, remember the second. When comparison makes you feel small, remember the third. When life refuses to follow your plans, remember the fourth. When anger becomes heavy, remember the fifth. When your mind escapes into the past or the future, return to the present through the sixth. And when life changes, as it always will, remember the seventh. Everything is impermanent, including your struggles. Real peace does not come from changing the world. It comes from changing the way you meet the world. One mindful breath, one kind word, one moment of letting go. These small choices, repeated every day, slowly transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. So before you leave, ask yourself one question. Which of these 7 Buddha lessons do you need the most right now? Write your answer in the comments. Your words may encourage someone else who is silently carrying the same burden. If this wisdom touched your heart, subscribe to Timeless Mind Temple, like this video, and share it with someone who needs a little more peace in their life today. Remember, the greatest journey is not traveling across the world. It is traveling from a restless mind to a peaceful one. May your thoughts become calmer. May your heart become lighter. May your days be filled with wisdom instead of worry, compassion instead of anger, and peace instead of fear. Until our next journey together, take care of your mind, because it is the temple where your entire life is created.